What's up, YouTube? How we looking? Coach Max here with some more MyGM. The saga continues. I'm trying something a bit different with levels, so if the sound is different from the first video, that's why. Last time, we learned that there are going to be 2 new expansion teams coming into the league, and one of them is going to be built under us, under the ownership of the most Texas thing to come out of Texas, Tex Towers. That sentence pretty much sums up my first impression of the guy. We were about to have lunch, so let's go ahead and do that. Thanks for breaking some bread with me, Max. I like to get to know my dance partner before we hit the floor. I'm right there with you, Tex. Peachy, now let me ask you something. What do you reckon my aim is here? What do you think motivates me to do all this? I don't know if I can speak to your motivation per se, but if I had to guess, I'd say you're someone who likes to take on new challenges. Someone who doesn't shy away from competition. And running an NBA franchise, well, that's just about as big a challenge as there is, and as competitive an industry as they come. Well, that's mostly right, Max, but mostly only counts in horseshoes and hay piles. You're missing one key ingredient, the thing that makes the entire world go round. You know what that is? Why don't you tell me, sir? Please, call me Tex. But, alright, if you want to play coy with me, I'll just come right out and say it. It's all about the money, Max. I want as many of those grade A, Uncle Sam approved tamales as I can possibly get my mitts on. I like the game alright, it's a fine game, but I want to impress upon you, in as concrete terms as I'm capable of, that this is a business venture for me, and I expect to make a pretty penny on this thing. It's no secret what NBA teams are going for these days, and it's only going up. If I understand my history right, the fellas in New York City haven't been a very good basketball team since the 1990s, yet as venerable an institution as Forbes magazine says they're worth $3.6 billion. I want a first-class seat on that gravy train, Max. Wow, shots fired. Well, we all need money. Darn enough, tootin' I do. You're tootin', we do. Yeah, I just said that. And I intend on getting my fair shake. I don't know if you know this about me, Max, but I like to think big. This is about a whole lot more than a basketball team. I intend to set myself up a little kingdom. I'm talking about a total takeover of a downtown area. We're gonna put those city slickers in Los Angeles to shame when we're done setting up shop. Well, that's a lot of work, Tex. You've got to get zoning ordinances changed. You've got to buy property from entrenched owners. Well, that's what I do. I make deals. I get things done, and I get them done Texas style. We're gonna build up the land around the arena, turn it into the happening place to be, and I'm gonna rake in all the profits hand over hand. Well, it sounds like you've got it all figured out then. Well, I can't do it without the help of some mighty fine people, of course, and that's where you come in. From an operations perspective, I need you to keep costs down as much as possible. I need you to keep our overhead to an absolute minimum. If we're going to make a good return on this thing, we've got to do it the right way. The road to profitability is lined with fiscal prudence. Like my grandpappy used to say, you can't pluck a goose against the grain. You understand what I'm trying to tell you here, Max? I don't know if that's an actual saying. Hey, comment section, let me know if that's an actual saying. But I totally get where he's coming from. And as it is, I'm totally down with that. I love building teams and keeping them under the salary cap. Well, it's not easy limiting expenses when you're building a team, Tex, but I hear you. I'll do whatever I can to keep costs down. Now that's what I like to hear. I think we're going to have fun working together, Max. First press conference of the expansion. Let's see what's going on here, and... You gotta be kidding me. Bob Sanderson? Really? I mean... This was spoiled for me by the dev blogs, but still, really? Anyway. I want to start things off by welcoming everyone in attendance today. This is truly an exciting day in the history of the Seattle Supersonics organization. Seattle Supersonics? He got his wish? He ran Atlanta into the ground, and then he got the expansion team. I wonder if this is proof that money talks in the NBA. Anyway. Not just for me and our staff, but the city and fans as well. I'm beyond thrilled to announce that we've come to terms on a deal for a new general manager of the Seattle Supersonics. He's someone you should all be familiar with by now. My son, the young but extremely talented Andrew Sanderson. Oh, wow. We have full confidence that now is the right time for Andrew to take control of basketball operations, and we're 100% committed to his success. With the entire organization in alignment from me to Andrew on down, I know great things are on the horizon for the Supersonics. Okay, let's open the floor up to questions. Hi, Andrew. Hi there. I'd like to start by just getting your general thoughts on the situation. My general thoughts? Well, obviously I'm extremely excited about tackling this challenge, but first I'd like to take a moment to thank the truly inspirational Max Maxwell for all the help he's given me throughout my career. Notice the tempo game. Without him, I don't know where I'd be today. I really mean that. He's given me everything he's got to give, all the wisdom, all the love, and I feel really, truly blessed to call him my mentor. He's a hero to a lot of us in this business, and I've been unbelievably fortunate to have had the opportunity to work side by side with a living legend. Max, any thoughts on Andrew's comments? Ooh, boy. So, there's a nice little unwritten rule of GMing. Oh, I wouldn't say a rule. Kind of more like a good philosophy to follow. I'll cover that a little bit later. But anyway, just know that whenever we're dealing with Andrew as much as humanly possible, especially now that he's a GM and not our assistant, we're going to be as neutral as possible, and especially when dealing with the press. So let's just, be nice and cordial here. All I can say is that I wish Bob and Andrew the best of luck, but I don't think they're going to need it. Andrew will do a great job over there, and they're really in very capable hands now going forward. After the press conference, limousine. Ooh. You want me to let you in on a little secret, Max? Is it still a secret if Bob and Andrew are here? That's a good question. Well, you got me there, kid. Sharper than a rattlesnake with the razor blade, this one is. Anywho, you know by now that Bob recommended you for the job, of course. Well, actually, I didn't know that. But what you might not know is that he's the one that talked me into this whole racket to begin with. If it weren't for a little bit of idle chit-chat on the back nine of Augusta last June, I might never have gotten into the basketball business. Is that right? Right as rain, fella. You know as well as I do that Bob's mighty persuasive once he sets to yammering about something, and he's did an absolutely bang-up job on selling me on the future of this here league. Now, at this point, you might be thinking that the time for a collaboration with old Bob here is over. Way past over. We go our separate teams, we go our separate ways, but the way I see it, I think we might be able to come to some sort of an arrangement that could be mighty advantageous to the whole lot of us. Mind if I jump in here for a minute, Tex? Loudest bullfrog gets the girl. Right. Well, you've known me for a long time now, Max, and I think you know that I'm a man who likes to maximize his advantages and minimize his disadvantages. It's an approach that applies to business just as much as it applies to basketball. Losing you? That's a big disadvantage. One that I'd like to minimize. I don't think I like where this is going. But there's another way to look at it too, and that's the flip side to this coin, which is you going to work with our good friend Tex could be a major advantage for everyone involved. Okay, now I really don't like where this is going. I'm listening. What I'm proposing is, in essence, a strategic alliance. Like I said, it'll hurt to lose you. That's undeniable. But if we act with our two best interests in mind whenever possible, it'll really help to get a leg up on the competition in a league where everyone sees everyone else as the enemy. Do you want collusion charges? Because I think that's how you get collusion charges. He's 100% right, Max. But before we go any further, I want to address, the elephant in the room. This isn't going to work if we're not brutally honest with each other. So yeah, I know that you and I didn't get along very well last season. That would be an accurate statement. More like an accurate understatement. Hey, I'm not trying to deny it, but I think now's a good chance for us to turn over a new leaf. Holding grudges isn't healthy in personal life or in business. If you miss out on an opportunity because you're holding a personal grudge, it'll only hurt you in the long run, especially in business. If there's a deal to be made, money to be gained, you're only hurting yourself if you turn it down. All that being said, I'd like for us to move past last year and focus on the future. If you and I just forget about everything that's happened and look at how we can improve our teams moving forward, I think you'll see that forming a strategic alliance is the move that makes the most sense for everyone involved. So what do you think? Do you think we can move on together, looking out for each other whenever we possibly can? Okay, so here's also a good time to talk about what I was mentioning a little bit during the press conference. There's kind of an unwritten rule, unwritten tenet of being a GM that you generally have to remain on cordial terms with people that you're trying to shamelessly fleece in business deals. So you're going to be very, very nice to their face and whenever you're dealing with them, just so you can try and pick their pockets for good trades later on in the deal. So this is part of why we're not going to be going out to deliberately antagonize Andrew Sanderson here, as much as we might want to from all the crud from last year. But, he's a GM now, so he's not, our underling that we can kick around, but, he's our equal. Ooh, that sounded so wrong to say. So, yeah, just know that going through this, we're going to try and be a little bit on the neutral side when we're dealing with Andrew. We don't want to just, completely kick him to the curb and abuse him, because that's the sort of thing that's going to come back to bite us later. It's an interesting idea, Andrew. I'll give you that. But, and you'll learn this about me, Tex, I like to be deliberate with my decision-making. If it's alright with you, I'd just as soon sleep on it before coming back with a decision. Hey, the Pro-Am Arena. What we going on here? Talk turkey with me, Max. Who do we got on our eyes on for this 2K What's a Doozy? The 2K Hoops Summit? Oh, that's right. Who's the big hombre on campus? Not every cowboy can ride the bull, I take it. Well, you're not 100% caught up on your scouting reports, Tex? Shame on you. Not as of yet, I'm afraid. Man in my position only has so much time, and the rooster crows whether or not the mule's at the till. I'm just messing with you, Tex. It's my job to keep track of this stuff, not yours. But since you're asking, let me get you up to speed. I'll give you a quick rundown of the top 8 players in the draft so you can sound like you know what you're talking about with your golfing buddies. Well, I prefer fly fishing, but that would be mighty kind of you. I've never been fly fishing. I've always kind of wanted to try that. Good to know. Now, right at the very top, you've got Luka Doncic, Slovenian point guard and a small forward's body. Clear natural feel for the game, plays in the most competitive league outside the NBA, and is doing things nobody has done in that league at his age. Not the most explosive athlete in the world, but some players just have it, and this kid's got it. If you've watched him play, you'd think he's a seasoned vet, not a 19-year-old, which is what he is. Then we've got Jaren Jackson out of Michigan State. 6'10" with a 7'4" wingspan, and has all the tools you'd want out of a modern big. Very young for his class, has a lot of room to grow, but has the look of a top-flight small ball 5 with his playmaking, shooting, and versatile defense. After that, you've got some combination of DeAndre Ayton, Michael Porter, and Trae Young. Do you like wings, bigs, or guards? I like my wings from Buffalo and my guards burly. I think that should be a meme. Do you think that should be a meme? Someone should make that a meme. I can see that I'm driving the bus here. That you most definitely are, Max. Okay, let's talk about Trae Young, top point guard prospect in the draft. Showed unbelievable range at Oklahoma last year and put up one of the most impressive offensive seasons in NCAA history. Trailed off a bit once defenses figured out that nobody on his team could help him, but his court vision and shooting have a chance to be elite at the next level. Only concern with him is his body. Bit of a slight guy who figures to have trouble guarding people at the next level and can struggle to finish at the rim. Then we've got DeAndre Ayton, who honestly some people see as the top prospect. I like Jackson better, but Ayton is a physical freak. Think David Robinson or Dwight Howard. Built like the Terminator, but light on his feet. Has a full array of post moves, passes well out of the double team, jumps out of the gym, and finishes with power and finesse. Concerns with him are his questionable basketball IQ and skill fit in the modern NBA. Will his post-game work in some of the more progressive offenses where post-play has been de-emphasized? Rounding out the top 5, we've got Michael Porter Jr. Coming into this year, he was considered a possible number 1 pick, but he hurt his back and barely played at Missouri, so we don't have much tape on him outside of high school against inferior competition. Still, he's got a skill set comparable to Kevin Durant, if not quite the same caliber. 6'10", great shooter, fluid in the open court, nice touch and feel for the game. Yeah, give me a couple more. I'm feeling mentally spry. Well, alright, let's talk about Marvin Bagley, 6'11" center out of Duke. Athletic freak, fluid, explosive, can leap with the best of them. Kind of an Amari Stoudemire type. Not a great creator in his own right, so you need to set him up for success in the right system with the right players, but in that system and with those players, he's got the potential to be deadly. Some people like his teammate Wendell Carter Jr. even more, just a really well-rounded player. Might be a little undersized at center at 6'10", and isn't necessarily an impressive athlete, but like Doncic, the kid knows how to play, does a little bit of everything, and does it all pretty well. Finally, you've got Mikal Bridges, a 3-and-D wing out of Villanova. A 3D wing? Like IMAX? 3-and-D means he specializes in three-point shooting and playing lockdown defense. Much obliged. He's a polarizing pick. Most people don't see him as a star, but his boosters think he's the kind of guy who can take a team with an already established star to the next level. Has the ability to guard 1 through 3 and knock down outside shots in a variety of situations. Catch and shoot, off the dribble, coming around screens. He's a good place to stop for now, actually, because after him it starts to get a little murky. But I tend to side with people who put him in the upper tier. He's a little older than some of these guys, but he improves every year, and I think he'll keep at it. What do you need to be sure about someone like Mikal? I want to make sure you have every advantage. Well, head scout to start. Have you made any progress there? That's a good question. I would totally like to pick my staff sometime soon, Kinda gotta hit the ground running there. Well, that's all you, son. Like I said, I'm staying out of basketball affairs. Carve some time out when you get back from the 2K Hoops Summit to round out your staff. You have my blessing to pursue whomever you see as most fit. Well, sounds good to me. I'll get right on that as soon as I'm back. And on that note, I think we'll go ahead and bring it in for right now. Okay, so a couple logistics listicle notes before I go. My current upload schedule will be on Wednesdays and Sundays, usually around noon Pacific time if I can swing it. If I need to deviate from that, I'll let you know here on Twitter or on Twitter at Mr. Coach Max. Work is already starting on episode 3, which I hope to have up on Sunday, and then we can kick off my career on Wednesday. Let me know in the comments section what you'd like to see more of, and we'll go from there. Just like last time, if you liked this and want to see more, hit that like button and let me know in the comments section, and subscribe to join the team. Until next time, take care.